Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trades to Azure, where we are still exploring, and last time we did the city, today we are outside. Let's start in mines. Archon Steel will be debuting their revival performance the day after tomorrow. I'd love to see one of their shows someday, even if just once. Maybe I'd sit next to a fine gentleman with an appreciation for theater, and we could strike up a romantic chat. In a theater? No. If he actually appreciates theater, he will not want to talk. I can't tell if she's more interested in the show or the imaginary gentleman. I had no idea it was a doll studio off a midpoint of a mountain path, and I live here. The guy who owns it never comes up to our village either. You've got to be some kind of oddball to live in the mountains by yourself like that. Luggy seems to be living his life to the fullest now that he's gotten his act together at work. Now all he has to do is find himself a wife. Then I can finally rest easy. Though I suppose I shouldn't get my hopes up anytime soon. My husband has been strangely eager about going to work lately. Must be Guns and Logi's enthusiasm rubbing off on him. He sets out for the mine so early in the morning that I can barely get his lunch ready in time. Guns and Logi's renewed zeal for their jobs is rubbing off on Max too. He sets out for the mine so early in the morning that I can barely get his lunch ready in time. Okay. It's been a tough task finding potential spouses for our miners. Then again, Guns, Marlow, and Logi don't seem to have any intention of settling down anytime soon. Perhaps the new generation doesn't value marriage as much as mine did? The bracers have been noticeably busier than normal these days. We've had to think twice before submitting any non-urgent requests. I was told that they're investigating the large mysterious monsters that have been emerging throughout the state. It gives me this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach. I fear something wicked may be brewing in Crossbow. Marlow's finally getting back to his regular self. Speaking as a bystander, the way Luca consoled Marlow seemed ice cold. But I guess if he's back on his feet, then also it ends well. I still don't get what all the fuss was about yesterday. I mean, I did what Guns asked. I went up to Marlow and said, "Can you just cheer up already?" Well, it is what it is. Back to cleaning. What a drag. Oh, Nielsen. Mr. Nielsen. Huh? Is that you, Lloyd? Yes, hello again. I'm glad you remember me. I never forget the voices of those I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Is this man? Yeah, he's that famous journal we met a little while back. That's right, Marcel Nielsen. What brings you to Mainz, if I may ask? I have an interview scheduled with Mayor Bigson, as it so happens. I'll be asking him for his account on Mainz's origin as a septium mining village, as well as how it has changed in the modern day. With the topic of independence looming over Crossbow, I thought it pertinent to reflect on the state's history. Not a bad idea. That's a very insightful perspective to have, for lack of a better phrase. I consider it a compliment. My circumstances do give me a penchant for taking things the long way around. But enough about me. I heard you all contributed to stopping the terrorist attack at the trade conference. With that in mind, I have the urge to interview you about the matter. Would you mind terribly? You see, there are several lingering questions I have regarding the motivations behind that attack. I suspect speaking with you will help me uncover the meaning of it all. The meaning behind the terrorist attack? That may be difficult to divulge. Theo's right. Information about that case is restricted to members of the state government and the police force. Even if we do take your questions, we'll be pretty limited in what we can disclose. That's understandable and well within my expectations. Nevertheless, I believe there's still merit to be had in discussing the matter. What do you say? Huh. Our last interview with him was definitely insightful. Participating in a second one could be a good idea if we have the time. Okay. Alright. We'll agree to your interview. Splendid. Thank you for your time. Let's begin right away then. Inside Scoop, the terrorist attack. Thank you all for agreeing to this interview. Thank you for indulging me with an interview today, SSS. I would love to chat again, should the opportunity arise. Alright, Nielsen. Kimmy's been playing with Hoffman's kiddo all day. He's the only kid her age around these parts, so I don't care if they're friends. But they're not gonna end up, you know, dating or anything, right? Who knows what'll happen in the future between Kimmy and that Alec boy. I'd better give Hoffman a stern warning about this. Can you worry about that in a few years at the earliest? What in the world could Alec be yelling his head off about this time? Honestly, how did that child turn out so rowdy? Echo, echo, echo. I love my daddy. My daddy, daddy. Gans dragged me by the collar to the inn yesterday. You'll never guess what happened next. Luca, of all people, came over to cheer me up. Thank God she doesn't hate me after all. I never imagined Luca, of all people, would go out of her way to cheer me up. Marlo's finally back in the groove of things now. The guy's lucky he has me to look out for him. Marlo's been awfully cheery today. Just yesterday he looked like his entire world had fallen apart. Well, as long as he's working hard, what do I care either way? That Marlo, what could have happened to get him so chipper in just one day? Hell if I know, but hey, as long as he's working hard, I'm not about to complain. My grandma's been pressuring me to get hitched. I get that she's happy about me not skipping work anymore, but marriage? That's more trouble than it's worth. I can't provide for a family the way Max and Chief Hoffman do. Besides, I prefer to go things solo. Amy's the one with boyfriend fever here. Let her handle it. Alright, I've got to mine as much as I can today. I might as well aim for tomorrow's quota too, while I'm at it. Alright.
Yosh, どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くぞ。よし、着いたぞ。
Turns out I bought the shiny new truck from a crook. Guess I better contact the police. Was that today? It's been so long. But I haven't inspected the village yet. Have I? It turns out Minef deceived us all. I never would have thought that someone so callous exists in all the world. Lesson learned. I knew that guy with the monocle was up to no good. I still can't believe he let all those monsters out though. I thought I was going to be eaten for sure. These two are a weg away from being gobbled up, and here they are, acting like nothing happened. Holy cow, did you see those cat things jump out of that van? It was so cool! Was that guy an animal trainer for a circus or something? Dang it, I should try to get his autograph. Those kitties were so big. Too bad they weren't cute. I like small kitties better. When I glanced out the window, there were monsters out in the middle of a village. Stranger still, Minif looked to be one controlling them. I was so shocked my back gave out on me. Ouch, it still hurts. Grams threw out his back earlier. I hope he'll be alright. Maybe I should bring him a compressor or something for that. Turns out that Minif fella was a scoundrel. Even I got led up the garden path by his fake smile and caught his ways. Derek got it the worst of any of us, though. I hope the boy's not being too hard on himself. You gotta be one weaselly little bastard to hoodwink someone who cares about our village as much as Derek. The next time I see that Minif, I'm gonna let him have it. I can't believe Minif released monsters in the middle of a village. Thank the goddess none of the children were hurt. I can't believe it, Minif. What a despicable man. You asked me, there was something off with that guy from the get-go. If he ever shows his face around here again, I'm going to clobber him for sure. Everything Minif said was a lie? That's upsetting. I can't even imagine what Derek must be feeling right now. Unbelievable. Minif was a crook all along and never put it together. The man's a master con artist through and through, and a low-down wretched vet. He's on the wanted list now, so he is hoping they have him behind bars before long. On the bright side, I'm glad Derek and Chief Tolta were able to patch things up. At least something good came from this whole mess. Minif made swift work of winning over the village. I'll say one thing, he's got a keen eye for understanding what people really want. But in the end, he chose to use his talents for evil. A man like that is beyond help. Minif could have been destined for greatness if he weren't so busy being a con man. From what I've heard, he's got a history of this behavior, so he'll get no sympathy from me. Thank Idea Stefan and the other children were attacked by those monsters. What that crook did was unforgivable. Protecting the future of Amorica Village. My son and I have been too close-minded towards each other's views to see that we share the same goal. This ordeal must have been the goddess's way of teaching us that. From here on, I ought to give more consideration to the ideas of the young folk. I was wrong and tried to solve all the village's problems by myself. This whole mess has shown me just how flawed my judgment has been up to now. From here on, I need to work with my father, no, the whole village, to create a brighter future. Thank you very much for your help, everyone. It's because of all of you that Derek and Chief Tolta were finally able to make up. I knew turning to the SS was the right call to make. Mr. Grimwood has his hands full with drafting the Constitution, so he couldn't make it today. Luckily, it looks like everything worked out in the end. I'll pass on Chief Tolta's thanks to Mr. Grimwood and let him know what happened. Derek and his father finally reconciled. I couldn't be more relieved. Thank you all so much for your help. Crossbell pays an entire 10% of its tax revenue to the Empire and Republic combined. Independence would make Crossbell no longer beholden to that, significantly increasing our state budget. I wonder much of it would go to fortifying the CGF in that scenario. Yeah, probably quite a bit, because when the powers are no longer your suzerain states who are beholden to protect you, you need to protect yourself. The Bracers are searching here, there, and everywhere for those cryptids. They're a good fit for the job too. Those guys are way more experienced with areas of a beaten bar than us. For some reason, no cryptids have appeared on Tangram Hill. It would be problematic if we had to go into the buffer zone to exterminate a cryptid with the Republic right there. But that could still happen, so we've got to keep our guard up. Good morning. There have been sightings of unidentified monsters around the state recently. We urge you to exercise caution while driving on the highways. Ah, thank you for the warning. I'll do that. Now, you just sign these entry papers and you can be on your way. Of course. Scribble, scribble. Funny running into you here, SSS. Scott and Menzel, I'm surprised to see you out by the border. Are you headed to the Republic, or is there a cryptid at Tangram Hill, maybe? Neither. If one of those monsters did appear at Tangram Hill, it would fall under the CGF's jurisdiction. That's true, but in that case, what are you doing here? We were investigating the area off East Crossbar Highway where you defeated that cryptid yesterday. If a pleroma grass really is connected to those things appearing, we wanted to see if any more of it had bloomed nearby. I see, that does seem like a distinct possibility. Since you're brazers, you guys can get into back areas we wouldn't be able to investigate. And that's the thought. Leave this to us for now. I'm sure there are things that only you guys can do to help as well. The trade conference may be done, but we haven't gotten any less busy after the fact. I haven't been able to see my fiancée Pearl at all. The girl who works at the department store, you mean? Unfortunately, you're going to need to stick this out. We're short-staffed as it is. When this is all over, you should ask Mikkel for a day off. I can help cover for you if need be. Thanks, Wessel. I don't know what I'd do without you, partner. Well, anyway, we need to focus on work for now. You've got your assignment to deal with, so leave this one to us. And the situation becomes this tight, it doesn't feel as though there's much a simple cook like myself can do. At the very least, I need to keep preparing delicious food so our guardsmen can be at their best. They say an old lady who works as a counterfeit dealer was arrested in Altair yesterday. Thinks she's so spry at her age she gets wasted on being a criminal. In some ways, I pity her for that. If Crossbell becomes independent, the CGF will effectively become an army. I for one would welcome an upgrade to our equipment, not to mention our Russians. The stuff we got now is just... Things have been so slow around these parts these days. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, so maybe I'll read an Arkansas fan book to pass the time. It's hard to say whether the referendum will lead to Crossbell declaring independence, but given our current tension of Arabonia and Calvert, they'll almost certainly see it as a threat to the status quo. The local referendum is going to have a larger impact on our neighboring countries than most people realize. About that plant you found during your investigation? Pleroma grass, I believe it was called. It was reported to be the key ingredient in Gnosis, correct? We've always known that the drug was dangerous, but I never expected it would be linked to something like this. Weren't you at the police academy during the cult incident, Deputy Commander? That was the first place the CGF went for. That's right. We were completely blindsided when the brainwashed unit from Belgrade attacked. In the end, the academy staff and I couldn't hold them back, and Ernest was sprung from prison. We figured that was the case. To think a simple flower could cause not only what happened that night, but also the cryptid's emergence in our state. The latter of which is something that presents a clear and present danger to all Crossbellans. It's unclear whether Tangram Hill is Crossbellan or Republican territory. For all intents and purposes, the Republic has control of it right now. But if Crossbell were to become independent, the disputes over the land might heat up. Despite how he looks, Deputy Commander Douglas is a fairly chill guy. Mostly. I want to be like him someday.
どうしますか？どこに行きますか？お安いご用です。はい、到着しました。
No matter how many times Certain dueled Triton, he was never victorious. Same goes for Kopan with Kaguya. It's starting to feel like a never-ending nightmare. Ah, why can't I outfish for dragon princess? I must have challenged her about 1,000,000 times now. There's something wrong with me? Am I just not cut out for this?
ここなら
I think Triton is the one I'm still missing.
それ
But I can't challenge him yet. I need 29 different fish. Okay. Darn it, how many tries will it take? Triton with Silver Orca is one formidable foe. It's no surprise he's ahead of Elite Four. He's a world-class fisher, believe you me.
Yosh, どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くぞ。よし、着いたぞ。
We had an out-of-control driver frequenting these roads recently. But enough of some people, God forbid they cause a major accident. Our hands are full enough as is, with the tensions between us and Arabonia. If Crossbell gains independence, the CGF will become an actual properly armed military. I do worry about how Empire and the Republic would respond, but my Crossbell and Pride wants nothing more than to see it happen. We of the CGF wanted to take on the investigation of those cryptid things on our own, but our hands have been tied ever since the independence proposal put us on high alert. Thank you for taking care of it on our side, Randy. No problemo, Sick. Good luck to you boys out here. The Imperial merchant that just passed through had a lot to say about Crossbell and independence. Seems it's a subject of hot debate even in the Empire. All of these CGF soldiers are so on edge for some reason. It's making me uncomfortable. I should leave for home soon. Oh, ideas, please have mercy. This soup is so spicy. My beloved made this especially for me, though. It's time to be a man and lick this bowl clean. With spice, my life is flashing before my eyes, but I'll make sure this bowl is clean as a whistle if it kills me. This is for you, Stella. Cross will become independent. Hogwarts, I say. You people should know your place. As an Imperial citizen, I feel as though you cross-balance are biting the hand that feeds you. Class has been looking down, so I make him some soup with an extra kick to help him perk up. I was afraid it would be too spicy. But thankfully he's been slurping it down like no tomorrow. I guess hot foods aren't a problem for him. He is my boyfriend after all. I should think of some other special dishes he might like. And that's why honesty is important. As each of the continent's armies continues to modernize, there's been an increased focus on aerial warfare. A prime example can be found during the 100 Days War of 1192, when the Kingdom of Libel was invaded by the Empire's superior military might. At the climax of the conflict, the Liberalian Royal Army managed to turn the tide by using their newly developed patrol airships. That outcome is exactly why the Crossbell Guardian Force is forbidden from having aircraft of any kind. Brute gifted me this book to read on my breaks. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so maybe you would too. Behind the cliffs on the other side of the canyon is the heavily armed guerrilla fortress. When things got tense in the past, the Empire would engage in military posturing by holding large-scale duels with their railway guns. I hope it doesn't come to that again. Man, I've been so busy lately that I haven't had time to rest. Let's have the commander and second lieutenant probably have it way worse. Their tenacity is admirable. I should strive to be more like them. Oh, hello SSS. You didn't happen to run into anything unusual on the way here, did you? Unusual how? Nothing seemed out of the ordinary as far as we could tell. Is that right? I suppose we won't be showing up today then. In a way that's almost a relief. Forget I said anything, it's just some work-related business. I might put in a request for all of you in the future, so I'd appreciate it if you heard me out when the time comes. I don't know what's up with you, but sure. You know you can hit us up whenever. Thanks, I hold you to that. And never mind that. Things are strained with the major powers right now. I should get back to focusing on the border. I've read over your investigation report. I find it interesting that the pleroma graphs mentioned during the cult incident would be relevant to our current predicament. We were surprised as well. How would you like us to proceed with the investigation? Unfortunately, the CGF is still unable to act. That said, having identified the apparent cause of the cryptid's sudden appearance is tangible progress. In light of that, I ask that you continue looking into things to the fullest extent of your abilities. Don't worry, we got this.
Yoshi, どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くぞ。到着だ。
Us prison officers have a tough job. It's easy to get mentally fatigued having to keep such a close eye on criminals around the clock. I know the feeling too well. Other than mandatory holidays, I rarely get a day off. Still, someone's gotta do it. It takes a special kind of fortitude to work in a place like this, in my opinion anyway. As far as we're aware, there haven't been any further sightings of a cryptid that appeared in the forest today. I believe that bracers that came by are investigating elsewhere at the moment. Oh shoot, I'm late. I was supposed to be at training first thing this morning. The instructor's never going to let me hear the end of this. Is this girl your old neighbor, Lloyd? The one who recently enrolled here? Yeah, that's her. It's crazy to think we could be co-workers in the future. This is taking me back to my early days as a cadet. They really put you through the ringer in the beginning. I know exactly what it's like to get chewed out by your instructors too.
Yoshi, どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くぞ。よし、着いたぞ。
The bracers seem to be pretty active lately. I overheard them talking about strange monsters appearing all over the state. I have to keep an eye out for that. Shizuka has had a positive outlook ever since her latest surgery. That girl refuses to give up, and so there's no excuse for the rest of us. We have to stay optimistic. That's right, we keep our hopes high and do all we can for Shizuku.
連れそれよしゲットだそれよしゲットだ
Oh, hello there, SSS. Linne, Ollie, what brings you to St. Ursula today? Another bracer request, perhaps? We're taking a little breather and doing some prep work before we get back to investigating the cryptids. The plan is to check out the sandbar on the Ursula Road where you exterminated that one from yesterday. We're hoping to find some sort of link between the cryptids and the pleroma grass your report mentioned. Oh, and Aries is back to work, just so you know. He'll be handling the last cryptid that was assigned to the guild. All by himself, huh? Anything we can do to lend a hand? Oh, I think we have it under control. Although, I could use some hugs and kisses from Theo to perk me up in case we run into any more trouble. You will survive. So cool. I'd be more concerned for her if she didn't act this way. In other words, there's nothing to worry about. We can take care of ourselves. You guys just keep doing what you're doing on your end. Got it. Good luck you two, and stay safe out there. About the pleroma grass, by the way, the report you submitted said that it was also a key ingredient in Gnosis. The orchestrator of a cult incident, Joachim Günther, manufactured a large quantity of the drug before his demise. But it raises the question, where had he harvested enough pleroma grass to do so? That is a very good question. We're heading to the sandbar on Ursula Road to look into the connection between the blue grass and the cryptid you reported. Don't worry though, we'll take care of ourselves. You six just keep on doing your own thing. Are you looking for Arius? He went back to the city yesterday night. Shizuku could still use his support, but we all understand how busy his bracer work keeps him. Now then, what shall I make our boarders for dinner this evening? Looks like I still have a bit of time before today's lecture. Miko isn't here yet, so I may as well sneak in a little studying while I eat my breakfast. You know, I never understood why we have this container full of dolls for warding off evil spirits. How the heck did it even get here? that thing is still there? According to Mr. Clark, it's going to rain all day starting tomorrow. He said that you can now find weather forecasts right on the Orbital network. My gosh, the world is advancing more and more by the second now. Pretty amazing, don't you think? I heard Zeron being chewed out by the nurse administrator earlier. That girl can never keep her nose clean. A bit of scolding now and then might do her some good. I'll go and stick up for her, of course, once I see a good chance to cut in. It feels as though the odds of Shizuku recovering her eyesight are as low as ever. But if the patient hasn't given up, then neither can I. On the Salient name, I promise not to rest and I'll find a successful treatment for that girl. If Shizuku recovers her eyesight, it will inspire patients from continent over who live with the same affliction. On the Salient name, I promise not to rush and find a successful treatment for that girl. Hi, Cecile. Good morning, SSS. Well, hello, Veloid. What brings all of you here? Did you want to pay Shizuku a visit? Yes, we did. We're not interrupting, though, are we? Oh no, not at all. I just came to tell her that Michael sent her a letter from Le Mans State. I was going to ask if she wanted me to read it. Did you say Michael? Isn't that the boy Dr. Salient operated on? Yes, he was also staying on this floor, and so the two of us became good friends. We promised to exchange letters with one another when we left the hospital. From regular pals to pen pals, huh? It's not uncommon for St. Ursula to receive letters from former patients like this. Sadly, it isn't easy finding the time to respond with what the sheer volume of our workload. Still, it's nice to hear from them. Knowing that someone I cared for is leading a happy, healthy life never fails to give me a boost of energy. That sounds like you, Cecile. I bet you put a lot of love and care into every reply you make. Perhaps I should begin writing letters to Martha as well. I'm sure she'd like that. She was so happy after seeing you for the first time in years. It's never too late. You're always welcome to give it a shot. I will consider it once our work slows down. Now then, just go ahead and read this. I just go ahead and read this for you. Dear Shizuku, how have you been? I'm doing well myself. I've been praying to the goddess every single night for her to help you see again. He hasn't changed one bit. It's good to hear from Michael again. Oh, he included a photo too. It's of him and his parents. They seem so happy. I can't wait to see it. And this was Michael's room. A friend of mine came to visit me the other day. Hospitalized over a thrown-out back. What an embarrassment. And I was hoping no one I know would find out. It must have been my mother who leaked out of it. How cruel can she possibly be? You're right, your recovery has been progressing well. I'm sure you'll be discharged before too long. Is that right? Well, that's just delightful to hear. I have to hand it to you, Dr. Litton. You really know your stuff. I'm glad you were the one assigned to me. Really? I don't know what to say. Dr. Litton, huh? I like the sound of that. I admit being under the care of so young a doctor had me concerned, but as it turns out this Litton fellow really knows his stuff. I heard Dr. Salen's going back to the drawing board to come up with a procedure to restore Shizuku's eyesight. Thank goodness, she seemed so down about what happened that I was starting to avoid her. I'm glad she's already shifted back into focus. Not that I'm surprised, Dr. Salen's got nerves of steel. She could stay calm and rational through any crisis. Shifting your mind back into focus when things don't go to plan can be a lot harder than you think. But if anyone can stay calm and rational through any crisis, it's Dr. Salen. Thank you for going out of your way to deliver us your package. I'd love to catch up, but Zeron and I need to have a little chat. Another time? A fellow Kagamaru enthusiast. Your taste is impeccable. See, you get it. Isn't he just so cute? Zeron, have you heard even a single word I've said? Look at this, Martha. Isn't this Kagamaru stuff the cutest? Don't change the subject. I've been fretting over leaving my husband alone with the kids at home. He never has been the best caretaker. He tells me he's taken up cooking, though. That can only be a good thing, I hope. I've been keeping myself busy during my stay here by reading this year's back issues of A Crossbow Time. The assassination attempt on former Mayor McDowell, the anniversary festival, the cult incident. It boggles the mind to know we've experienced all that in the span of just a few months. When the surgical department was established, some found the practice invasive, inhumane even. But these days I feel people have reached a deeper understanding of what benefits the surgical side of medicine can offer. But these days has a lot of great pioneers who demonstrated its merits. They deserve our gratitude and much more. I have an appointment scheduled for this morning. And guess what? I was able to schedule it right on the Orbital network. Now that's what I call convenience. Shizuku's bravery is always so inspirational to the nursing staff. We owe it to her to keep her faith and give her our full support. I was a bus here all by myself today. Pretty grown up of me. I hurt my hip doing housework. I hate getting older. You kids should watch out. You'll be having your midlife crisis before you know it. We've been taking more follow-up appointments via the Orbital network lately, thanks to the new legislation that's been enacted. Perhaps if Crossbit became independent, it would greet a wheel for even more helpful laws in the future. It makes me wonder how the referendum will turn out in practice if it passes. Welcome to St. Ursula Hospital. This is the reception desk for outpatients and visitors. We also offer appointment scheduling for follow-up exams on the Orbital network. Give it a try if you're interested. The human body has the innate ability to repair injuries and cure illnesses all on its own. Most remedies developed and prescribed in the field of internal medicine are designed to accelerate those self-healing capabilities. The same philosophical basis is also employed by the Church, and so too do we physicians ascribe to it. Lytton has been making far more rounds in the hospital than he used to. Show him, does he think he's going to be the next rising star of St. Ursula? Not on my watch, Buster. I've recently gotten the sense that something is troubling my son Keynes. The hospital keeps me busy enough, but my private life is just as stressful. If I'm not careful, I end up giving myself a stomach ulcer. Then I'd be forced to have Lago treat me. Good goddess, my private life is somehow just as mentally draining as working in the hospital. And remember, Kaylee and Lago don't like each other, or are rivals, or I don't know. They're arguing constantly. I got it. By using the same principles as a photo quartz, it may be possible to send optical feedback to the brain as an artificial vision aid. No, that won't work. I just figured it would take a lifetime to develop this. Maybe I'm not cut out for this after all. No, I can't give up. I have to keep fighting for Shizuko's sake. Chief Ursulini has been running herself ragged with her research ever since Shizuko's surgery. Apparently she's looking into the possibility of employing the use of orbments to correct Shizuko's eyesight. Amazing, isn't she? I don't know if it'll work, but the chief really knows how to think outside the box. Okay, but I believe I've been everywhere? Unless Arias is still hiding somewhere along the roads? Okay, and with that I say until next time, and I'm Mace and don't get lost.